All right, so here is a description of that little project I gave you guys on Friday to kind of work on the movie project where you're creating a movie, a class movie, and then a client movie and using array lists. So pretty much to start it off, let's see, we got everything we need. So in this class, a little bit different than from the other classes we've done. You have to import the Java utility package, and that's the first thing that you do up here. You named your class, so you created a new class, but in this, because it's the class, you don't have a public static void main string args thing, so you don't have to worry about that. Here are your instance variables. These should look familiar. This one's a little bit different. You're creating the array list as an instance variable now, and you have to let it know that instance variable is going to be an array list, and it's going to hold multiple things. Here is the default constructor. In this case, it takes nothing, and then it just creates a new array list that doesn't have anything in it. I'm just going to use this one when I create it. I don't want to type in everything when we do our client class. I'm not going to. I'm going to set the actors and all the movie stuff as we go there. I'm not going to send it any of these parameters when I do it. So here, you know all this stuff. This is setting and getting for those instance variables. It's normal. I don't really have to explain that. At least I hope I don't have to. The one thing that's new here is these setters and getters right here, the constructors and mutators. This one right here, I'm setting an actor. So all I'm doing with this is I accept an actor into this mutator, and then because I've already created my instance or my array list up my instance variables, all I got to do is add something to it. So every time I call my set actors function or method, I can just add an actor to that movie's array list to hold on to it. And then right here, the get actors, just return the actors, return everything. If somebody wants to see it, this one's not so important. This is going to be, you can do this a couple of ways. This one will return everything in brackets to show you what's in the array list. I do that down here if I want to format a little bit better in my toString. You should see, you know this. The only difference with this one is that I actually have a for each loop in here. So I have my actors, and then for each actor, for each string A in actors, I just want you to print it out. So if I've got 3 actors or 4 actors, it'll print out all this information and then all the actors in it. Really kind of simple. It's not all that, it's not super hard. It's the only things are incorporating the array list to your class. In the client code, so what I did is I went ahead and typed it up. Typical stuff. I had to declare an array list up here. So remember, import java.util.star. So I create an array list right here because I'm holding all the movies now I'm doing. Now notice, if we take a look at the previous one, the movie one, we set our array list to only take in strings. Now, our array list in our client code only will take the objects of movie, okay? Now remember, just so this has nothing to do with this, just remember, when you're using array list, it only can take objects. It doesn't take int. It has to take integer. It has to take classes. You can't put any like primitive data types in there. It won't work. So anyway, I created all my movies, 3 movies in here. And like I told you, I was just going to set the titles and durations and things like that. So I couldn't remember Princess Leia's real name, so excuse me on that one. But I set everything up here. All this is, the only things that are remotely real are Star Wars, Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford, and I suppose Princess Leia, whoever that was. I know that she just passed away. I can't remember who it is. But anyway, so I think these are all right. Then I added it to my array list. So I added that to my array list, created a new movie again, did all that stuff, added this stuff. I don't even know when cars even exist, but anyway, you get it. Added it to my array list, and then created a whole nother, a 3rd movie and added it, called it Pulp Fiction. Again, don't know how long it is or when it really was released, but here are some actors and actresses that were in the movie. And then I add that to my array. So in my array list for my client code, I have all my actors, or all my movies in there. So I threw them in there. In my class, I've got all the actors being held in an array list. So each object has an array list within it. And now I'm just going to come out here and print out everything. So for every movie and my movies, I'm just going to print out the toString method, and I've already printed it out, but I'll run it just in case so you can see that it actually works, and I just didn't type it up there. And so away we go. What it does is it actually prints out all the stuff that you put in and all the actors and actresses that are in it. Now, the one thing that you should notice about this is that if you come out here, what happens if you do a system.out_print CISO, and then let's say you just want to print out m1 get actors, you'll see a little bit difference here. If some of you tried that, you'd get a little bit different formatting than I got. It still could almost be right, but you're not really, all you're doing is peeking into what's in that array list. And what would happen is if you ran it, you would get something that looked like this, where all those were in brackets and things like that, and you wouldn't print them out all nice and fancy. So I hope this kind of shows you, this is kind of a solution to the problem right there. I know I probably should have done better in making you find the solution, and I know also that I didn't, I don't have all the fields. I don't remember. I'm just from the back of my head. This is kind of what I remember it to be. So most of it, honestly, you should have known how to do anyway. It's just a class. The only thing that was kind of hard was that whole array list. How do I fit this in? How do I declare it? And so here it is right here. If you were on the right track and you have small little things that you couldn't quite understand, there the answers are. Next time I'll try to do a better job in leading you to the water instead of just throwing water on you, and hopefully you drink it next time. So anyway, there you go. Let me know if you have any questions.